Hi, today I want to talk to you about this question number 3 on assignment 1 about the area that you're placing stimulation on rats and the time it takes them to recross the line. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to notice that this is a main effects and an interaction effect, so we're going to use the test of simple effects if the ANOVA for the main effects is significant. And so if you scroll down, we've already done some of the work so far, so what we want to look at is our test of between subjects, and you'll notice that the area is significant, and this one is not significant, but the interaction effects is significant. So that means that we want to do the test of simple effects. So what I've prepared already is the test of simple effects syntax, which is here on the screen. And so we're gonna open up the SPSS file that has the raw data. This one here that the teacher gave you has the raw data of the area, duration, and time. And then we're going to take our test of simple effects syntax. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight it, and you're going to go to the top of the screen. Actually, this doesn't have a top of the screen, so what you're going to do is you're going to highlight it, and then you're going to say Control R, which means to run it. And when you do Control R, it should pop up with another screen with your output. Let's look and see if our output came. Let's see. I want to look at my, should be able to just highlight this and say Control R for running it. But for some reason it's not working. Yeah, probably because I have too many windows open. I'm gonna get rid of a couple windows, and now it should work. I had two SPSS items open, so it was not wanting me to run it. So here's our syntax and Control R. Most of the time it has some kind of header at the top, and for some reason my header is not there. So I don't know why it's giving me problems. So once you press Control R in your syntax, it will pop up with your output. And so in our assignment, we've already put in the descriptives. We've already talked about the Levines, and we've already placed our between subjects effect in our assignment. Notice that this is significant for the duration and area. So since it's significant, we want to do the test of simple effects, which we just ran the output for. So when we scroll down, we'll see it. So down here is duration at area. And so this is talking about your duration and then what area it's at in each of the cases. So what we want to do is, because our Levine's test said that it was 0.996 for the significance, we're going to use means that we have homogeneity of variance. And so what we're going to use is this pairwise comparison. And we look at our p-values here. And you'll notice for the p-values for the neutral site, there's nothing that's significant. But then when you look at the p-values for the area, we have a significance here, 0.018, for area, for the duration, and 150. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our assignment. And this one here is with the sites. So we want to say the area A with 50 and 150 is significant. So we're going to put an asterisk right here, because we had a 0.018. Let me just share the screen again. And so we had the 0.018 between 50 and 150 for area A. And if you look at the rest of these p-values for area A, there's nothing else. This one here is just a repeat. And so now let's look at area B. Area B, we have this one right here that says 0.013. And this is for area 100 and 150 for area B. And it's also the only one. So once we get done with this, then we'll have to look at the next chart. So let's go ahead and go back to our document. And so for area B, it was for 100 and 150. So 100 and 150, notice that I'm in row 100 and column 150. So we put an asterisk there. And both of these are less than 0.05. So we just have an asterisk that says that P is less than 0.05. And you'll notice that when we look at the means and standard deviations up above, they should be the same. So if, but we can always double check to make sure. So for the neutral site, yep, it looks like these numbers are correct, but you can double check those. Okay, so now let's go back to our SPSS output. Okay, so we've just done this duration, or sorry, we just did this one right here, the pairwise comparison for the area at duration. So now let's go down and look at the next one. So here it's saying that the area A has significance between the milliseconds, that's the 50, 100, and 150, along with area B has some significance. And so the pairwise comparison that we just did is reflective of this. Okay, so we'll want to put this chart without, we only need one of the errors, but we'll want to put one of these charts in our document to show which ones were significant. So now here, duration at area, we'll look at the significances here, and you'll notice that for the 50, the neutral site is significantly different than the area A. When you look at the rest of these, that's the only one that is important. So we're going to go back to our document. We'll share our document. And so area at duration, neutral site, and area A. So area A is number 2. And so these two here are significant. And then when we come back and look at our SPSS, we'll notice that for number 100, the neutral site and area B is significant. You'll see the 0.004. And that's the only other one that's significant. So neutral site and area B for the 100. So neutral site and area B. Area B is 3, so neutral site and area B should be right here. And when we looked at the 150, there was nothing that was significant. They were all ones. And so here there was nothing that was significant. Okay, so now that we have that set, now it's just time to talk about these. So you'll want to say something to the effect of that for area at duration for the 50 milliseconds, area A is significantly lower than the neutral site. Now, what does that really mean? These numbers indicate how fast it took them to cross the line. So we can rephrase this as area A is significantly lower than the neutral site for or when, I'm not sure. I'm gonna try this again. Okay, so area A has a significantly less time to recross the line than the neutral site. Okay, so this is going to replace this here because I think it just sounds better. Okay. And then what we do is we want to throw in our means. So we're going to say mean is equal to 16.80. And then I always like to throw in the significance. So P is less than 0.05. And then for the neutral site, we want to throw in that mean too. So mean is equal to 28.60. Okay, so that's just a sample of how you can talk about table 5. And a lot of times we want to make sure that we refer to the table. So in table 5, it shows that for area at duration for the 50 milliseconds, area A has a significantly less time to recross the line than the neutral site. Okay, and so I'm going to let you try the next one and the ones down here. Now we've already put in the significance, so all we have to do is write about it. If you have any questions, just let me know, okay? And I will talk to you later.